Well, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to save this life on my phone so that I can add it later on, maybe on my Instagram or on my Facebook. Hopefully it doesn't get too crazy because I am in another room away from my three kids. My husband just came from work and I know that he's tired, but I asked him to give me a few minutes so I could go live and share the fact that I just got my Dear Young Me journal. And this, even though it says not for release, this is because I requested a copy from Amazon. I am publishing my books through Amazon, and these are journals. Right now, I have 3 blank journals. One is my first one was Write the Vision. It's a gratitude journal. It is based on the scripture from the Bible from Habakkuk 2:3. And I have always shared the story behind Write the Vision since I working with Steve Harvey since 2019. You could say God allowed me to find myself to find him through YouTube. Even though I have always loved Steve Harvey because he's a funny guy. Oh my God, these kids decide to make the noise when in the most important part of my life. Anyways, so yes, so in 2019 I was going through my worst moment, in which I had my during that time my son was 19 months old. He was going through pneumonia, and I almost lost my son on a night that I was by myself. My husband was working late, and I had to take him to emergency room by myself. I called 911, and they had to take me in the ambulance. And during that week, I felt that I was failing my kids. I felt that as a stay-at-home, I was failing as a stay-at-home mom, because even though I was working and I was also looking after my kids, but I also felt that it was too much for me. And there was a point in time. Hola, mi amor, ¿cómo estás? Will, ¿cómo estás? Thank you for passing by and just saying hello. It means a lot to me. And I'm sharing a little bit for those of you who doesn't know me, for those of you who don't follow either my TikTok account or don't follow me on Instagram. My name is Veronica. I am a graphic designer, stay-at-home mom of 3. I'm expecting my 4th child, and I always share my journey in the faith, because it takes so much, you guys, to declare you that you believe and that you have faith, because it's not easy. It's not easy when you're saying that you have faith and that you know that you believe in God and this and that, but it takes a lot when you actually put in practice what you're learning in the walk of faith. So yes, you guys, and so in 2019 I prayed and I was like, God, I don't know, what am I doing wrong? I don't know, I'm failing as a mother, I am failing as a housewife. I feel that I'm going breaking apart. And I was just praying and I was feeling overwhelmed. And out of nowhere, I know that I was guided by the Spirit that to open YouTube. So I opened YouTube, and the first video that came up was Steve Harvey, and he was talking about writing the vision in Habakkuk 2:2-3. And I started listening to his story, and I have always watched his funny videos on Family Feud, and I never knew what was behind his success, and I didn't know how much it took him in order for him to get to the point that he is right now. And he was testifying that he believed in vision boards, and he believed on writing things down. And when I heard that, I started looking into what was the vision board and all those things. So when I started doing that, you guys, I never expected that I was going to be able to have a close connection with Steve Harvey. So when I actually had two, you could say, workshops of the vision board, I started doing that and applying that in my life, and I started sharing that on my Instagram account, which I am the creator of Ariel Designs. I sell t-shirts, I sell sweaters with positive affirmations, as well as positive quotes, Bible quotes, and stuff like that in my sweaters. And I was selling that in my shop, but I did not know as to what was what was a vision board. And when I came across Steve Harvey, and then he guided me, and he sat down with a group of people who were willing to know what was a vision board. I signed up to every workshop that they had, and that's how I started creating vision boards. This is better from the vision boards that I had, you guys, because before it was horrible. I just cut out pampers of paper boxes, and I opened them up, and then I was just writing on the cardboards, and anyways. So but later in years, I started finding out more about vision boards, affirmations, meditation, and ways to get closer to God, to my creator, or my faith as well. And it opened a path in which I never knew that I was gonna find. And I'm talking about this, you guys, and I'm sharing this right now in the live, because thanks to the fact that God placed me, Steve Harvey, as a guidance and also as a teacher on how to move from one level to another in life. I feel that he has been a big blessing to me. And I never had I never had the idea of publishing journals, even though I have always told my followers on Instagram that I have like 6 journals since I was maybe 8 or 9 years old. I even have a journal, you guys, in which I wrote backwards. I started writing from the behind the marble notebook so that nobody could understand what I was writing there. So I was writing backwards. I also have another journal that I was writing with Greek letters. So even though they didn't make sense in the Greek language, but I was writing, I was using the Greek alphabet in order for people not to understand to what I was writing. So during that time, I was doing all of that, but I never knew that writing journal was gonna bring me to this point in life. And like I said, I've been going through a lot during this past weeks, past month. It has been very tough, very rough, but you know what? I know that every one of us have a purpose to be here on earth. If you wouldn't be here, it's because there wouldn't be an imagination in your mind, or there wouldn't be a thought out on the universe to say this thought is important and it has to be manifested on earth, so I'm gonna send you out. Like if you read the Bible, it says that God only said, let it be light, and the light was light. So our words, when they're spoken out to the universe, they have power, but it's all up to you how you want to use your power in your voice, on your words, and the things that you believe in. Now, I do have the vision board, and like I said, I never thought that besides creating new designs of sweaters, that I was gonna come up with a journal. So getting into the journal, this is a gratitude journal that I titled it Write the Vision, which you could find, which, like I was saying, is part of a Bible verse in Habakkuk 2:2-3. And when it talks about writing the vision, it talks about the ideas and dreams that you have in life, that you have in this world, and how you want that to take effect in your life. You can have a lot of faith, and you can have a lot of hopes, you can have a lot of ideas in your head, but it's up to you how you want to implement those ideas in your life. And it takes a lot, you guys, in order to implement a regimen where you're going to be focusing on what you want, writing down ideas of what you want, and a purpose of the things that you want to do. I know that there's in the life there entrepreneurs who want to be successful in the industry of maybe t-shirts, or selling cups, or just selling any other type of material. And because everybody in this world wants to succeed in whatever area they feel comfortable in, and sometimes it's hard for that to happen, because there are doors that even though you've been knocking, you feel that they don't open up. And I understand, you guys, I understand how hard it is sometimes to get from one place or to one point to another. But sometimes, like I was explaining in one of my lives on Instagram, sometimes things doesn't happen because maybe it's not your appointed time, and it takes a lot in order for you to grow, so that whatever you have learned through that process gets applied into what you're doing. And I'm saying this because I have bumped my head so many times in things that I want to do, and sometimes I want to jump ahead and say, oh, I got this, I got this, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna go over this, and I'm gonna sell a lot of this so I could become to millionaire. And it's good to think that way, but sometimes we're not ready for that big responsibility. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Don't take it personal. Don't take any mistakes that happen in your life as a failure. Do not do that, because I was doing that at the beginning of Ariel Designs. I kept blaming myself for losing so much money and investments. But you know what? Take whatever mistake that happened, take it as a moment of learning, and apply that moment of learning in another move of your plan. Because whatever you have learned in that mistake, you're not going to repeat it again, right? So make sure that whatever plan that you have of business, either if you want to create a new business, or you want to become like I said, if you want to be a business person, if you want to do an investment in property, whatever business that you want, whatever area that you want to do, make sure that you sit down and find out exactly as to what are you going to involve yourself in, so that when you go into the field, you already know what you're facing. Because sometimes we want to get to the goal, but we're only thinking of getting there so badly, and we want to make money so badly, that we forget how much work it takes in order to get there. And that is something that I've been learning from my mistakes. And like I said, do not feel like a failure. You're not a failure, because you're a brave person. It takes a lot from a person or individual to try to do something in life. Because sometimes we go through so much problems in our life. We have depression, we have anxieties, we have problems, but yet again, we still want to be a survivalist. We still want to empower ourselves to become someone in life, and that you guys means that you're a brave person. That means that you are a warrior. So applause to you for wanting to be someone in life. And I'm sorry that I'm getting up on topic, but sometimes I get so emotional when it comes to those things, you guys, because like I said, since I was young, I always felt that I was gonna do something in life. And not only that, I always have wanted to encourage people around me, because sometimes I feel that I've been alone in my path, but yet again, God puts angels in my way to encourage me for me to not to give up. So I always thank God for that, and I see that someone in that's watching right now, it's one of those angels who is always there to support me, even though sometimes she might not be too active in her social media. But when I see her, I know and I appreciate you. So thank you for that. And like I was saying, so the vision board, I did this one last year in December, and I have different ideas of what I want to do as an entrepreneur, with myself, with the sales of the sweaters and t-shirts. But then this, you could say, in August, a lot of things happened as in my personal life. I had a car accident. Someone used the car, and they also had a car accident. We are pregnant again, expecting our last baby, and it's so many overwhelming things that you're like, where do I start? Where do I get off? Where do I dust off all this weight and just start, so that I could just move forward? But in those moments of uncertainties is when God actually show up and tells you, you need to calm down, because things are gonna come, but you need to calm down. You need to trust the process. You need to trust whatever I'm doing. And sorry that my little girl is making noise over there. Hopefully my husband survived this few minutes that I'm gonna be here on the live. So I started doing the gratitude journal, but there was this night that I was just I fell asleep, and I had already published the gratitude journal, and God put in my heart. Sorry, let me see if I could just see that. So, but God put in my heart to bring out a new journal, and the journal, I name it. You won't see the title here, because I got this for as the writer, so that's why they put like a not for resale tag here. And this books, you guys, I have published it through Amazon, and I love the work that they did. This is a hardcover work that they did for this book, and like I said, this is a type of journal that I have created for you guys, so that you could write letters to your young self. And why is important? Why it's important for you guys to write letters to your young self is because when you write letters to your young self, you are letting go anything that might be in your subconscious that is holding you back from things that you might be holding in your mind. And sometimes when we're young, we go through like I said, everybody goes through a process in life, and when we are young, it takes courage. I'm gonna speak from my point of view, from my experience. I was 8 years old when I actually crossed the border from El Salvador. I'm from Central American, from El Salvador, and I crossed the border at 8 years old by myself. I'm proud to say that God took care of me. I crossed the border when I was 8 years old by myself with someone else, because we had so much necessity in my country. There was a beginning of a war, internal war of gang members during that time. But I was only 8 years old, and I was among grown-ups. 30, 40 years old, and I was only 8 years old by myself without my parents. And I could have been raped, I could have been killed in one way or another, but God sent his angels to protect me. But it took a lot of me as a 8-year-old in order to survive that I was exposed in. Now, you might be 40 years old right now and you're wondering what would have happened if my 7-year-old self, my 9-year-old self wouldn't have stand strong for me. Just imagine on that. Where would you be now if your young self wouldn't have faced the fear, wouldn't have faced the consequences, or wouldn't have faced the fact that there's a truth that was revealed to you when you were young? If you wouldn't have survived during that era or during that time, you wouldn't be here. And I believe it's very important for you to write letters to your young self and let your young self know that you are proud of that little you. My name is Veronica, and I've been writing letters to my young self saying, thank you, Veronica, for sustaining me. Even though God was always there, but Veronica did not fail me as an 8-year-old. She did not fail me knowing that there were situations around me that I was not being loved in the house because I had just come to a new house with new people and they didn't know me well. As an 8-year-old, I had to survive grown-ups that they didn't know how to talk to me, and they maybe abused me mentally and verbally, because those are abuse as well. And that little Veronica survived for me, and now I'm here. Now I'm 33 years old with 4 kids in a house, and I am here thanks to my young self. So that's why God put in my heart to bring out a journal in which you are going to write letters to your young self, and it says, dear young me. And it's very important, you guys, because like I said, all my followers in Instagram, they love doing the vision board. When I schedule the vision board in my Instagram account, and we have the times and all of those things. But God put in my heart that it was important for you guys to release any negativity that you might be holding from your childhood on this notebook. In this diary, it have few pages with inspirations, but it's mainly blank. It's mainly blank with lines so that you could write letters to yourself. Or if you want to write thank you letters to your young self and saying, thank you, young me, for holding me down. Thank you, young me, for not failing me when I needed you the most. Because like I said, if your young self wouldn't have survived that rape, that abuse, that difficulty, or that bullying during that time, you wouldn't be here. So you have to appreciate your young self and release whatever is holding you back from moving on. Because sometimes, let me tell you why this is important. Because I have to forgive my parents for leaving me behind when I was only 6 months old in my country. I had to understand as to why they left me behind, the reasons as to why. But also I needed to forgive them the way that they treated me, because they didn't see me as their daughter, because after 8 years, we never built a bond, and it was hard for them to act as parents after 8 years. And when I was 13 or 14 years old, I was a teenager, and I went through a lot of traumas because I never built a relationship with my parents. And I had to hold myself down with just the guidance of what God was putting me in my head and in my heart. And like I said, God always put people around you that they will serve for you as a guidance, and those are your angels. Those are the angels that God put next to you so that you could grow and you could survive, because there's always a big purpose in your life. Like, I speak to the mommy friends that I have, and they always tell me all the things that they went through, and they share the stories and all of that. And I appreciate the fact that they have the trust to tell me all of this. And it's very important for them to release all those things, and like I said, that's why I brought out the Dear Young Me. So hopefully tomorrow I'm gonna go live on my Instagram account with my 7-year-old, because we are going to receive another journal that I brought out, but that one is a guided journal for kids 6 years of age, between 6 years of age and 13 years of age. And it's a guided journal in which I ask them question like, how was your day? Who do you play with today? Do you have a happy day? What made you sad today? And things like that. An interactive journal where I also put in affirmations, positive quotes, and eating activities on that notebook, you can say, so that they could get inspired and feel of motivation. So I cannot wait for you guys to see the live. If you could follow me on Instagram, that would be awesome. And thank you so much for everyone who passed by and who sent me a like. Thank you so much for all of you. And like I said, you can find all these books on my link in bio. And I love spending time with you guys. Thank you so much for everything that you did just now, and for all the likes. Thank you.